Boom, 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 chicka, boom, boom. Hey. Okay, I just want to get this camera into a nice position here. I was sexually assaulted by a male respiratory technician the last time I was in the hospital. Offered me unsolicited advice. After a quick rhetorical query, as soon as I came out of consciousness, and I identified him as a sociopath the moment he entered the room. He was really just a standout sociopath. Everyone in that room was a sociopath. And I was able to backtrack to kind of find out what some of the mentality of some of the females in the room that basically inspired him. Remember, Christmas is a time of lowered inhibitions. Remember that. White children, male and female, taught to lower their inhibitions over Christmas time. Essentially, the reason that I was there is because I was attacked by two white women who lowered their inhibitions. So let's be clear about that. And you go. And the times before that I'd been in the hospital, I was sexually assaulted by an X-ray technician, MRI technician. Again. And the following March, I was sexually assaulted by about a dozen different narcissistic sociopaths. There's a shit over here. It's probably mine. And the following December, I was attacked by different orders of narcissistic psychopaths as well, while attempting to use public transit. And I started getting stalked by bus drivers. This was proven without a doubt. Now I'm okay. I don't take the buses anymore. You know, at some point you just recognize, like, oh, you don't want to give me a ride. That's okay. And I only wanted to pay $2.50. I didn't want to pay with my life. Most of their antics, they put my life in physical danger or threatened to do so several times. They showed lowered inhibition about an accurate provision for my safety, my voice, my personal space, and my dignity as a human being. Through their office, through their command structure, at the level of buses, and so forth. So you get the idea, you know, when you're supposed to go somewhere and not use these services anymore. And the police were their patsies. They're always on hand as patsies or whatever else, bullies. Recently, several times in the last 3 years, the police started stalking my 75-year-old mother. They're allowed to do this, so they don't consider it stalking, but that's what they're doing. Attempting to intimidate me for the bus system. And, you know, so it's just, you end up learning a lot of things you don't want to know. But exactly what you're bound to find out if you pursue basic, reasonable human boundaries, and you ask everyone to be responsible for having a good reason for how they're behaving if they're hurting someone. But none of those people could do that. And since they were young, None of them have had to. That's what makes them good white people. I'm not angry. I'm more scared. Because most people in Canada probably think that the police are there to help them. And there's those of us who know that they're not. Not only do I not have the protection of the police or the use of local services, not only can I not go shopping for food down the street where other people can, thousands of other people can, right? Any number of these people could hold enough prejudice toward me to stalk me, or for them or they know, to bring me to physical, sexual, or emotional harm on any day of the week. You can't trust them. Doesn't matter how long you know them. Doesn't matter whether they know you for 5 minutes or 12 years. Doesn't matter. So what I do is I let that flow through my blood, let my body speak, right, as it's recovering. And the bus system was stalking me for over 2 years, even though my mother has never used the bus. They've actually stalked her because they know that that's a vulnerable part of my life. Or as sociopaths, they feel like that's the right thing to do. Because sociopathic behavior for white people usually coincides with their sense of principle and what they consider the difference between right and wrong, and how they assess the nature of other people, especially their victims, usually in an inferior position. That requires their special super attention. A lot of white people work in so-called helping professions. This is sort of my staging area for getting to know this forest. Because I have to be able to get comfortable enough that I can get to this point. And then from this point, first. Because if you can't get out of the forest, that's not very good. So, let's go, Joe. It's amazing. Cheers to see. That man who was talking about how you can't quantum in pain. You can, in the sense, like if you have pain suppressant, you know how much you need of it to deal with your pain. So there is a related quantification, but in any case, still a fair point. And I'm pretty sure the female walking with him probably didn't have any real thoughts on the issue. I talk to my mom all the time. She doesn't care what I think. A lot of female sociopaths don't have a lot of high intellectual operation. still very smart people, and truly, I mean, people just have different things they like to put their mind to for various reasons. But I try to encourage my mom to extend her palette for things that involve a little more reflection, because it's something while you're on earth to do that can pay dividends that a lot of people don't really notice. Forget education. You need to be around fine literature, even if it's total bullshit. But, because, I mean, there's bullshit everywhere, commonly and finely spun as any. But, yeah. All right, let's go. Fuck, it's cold. Oh, I made it out. It's just cold. There's just no two ways about it. It's just fucking cold. It's harmful, really. It's a harmful level of cold. It's harmful. You don't want to be outside. It's like there's a bite to it. It gets right under your skin. Right? It's like hell. It's like a kind of fire. It's burning you alive. That's what it's like. Right, now we're walking home. We'll be home by 12 or 1 o'clock probably. Just no reason to stick around here too long. Yeah, it's kind of a fire. But yeah, with white people, like, I've met white women in the area, they like something about you. They want to touch you, or get their breasts to touch you and stuff like that. But they don't want to get to know my mind in any critical way. I don't go to coffee shops anymore because it's the white men and women that are just disgusting. There's no one to know, no one to get to know. No conversation, no thought, nothing. I mean, these people, their highest level of literary achievement is reading Tony Robbins. What I adapted, my strategy living around white people is never be anybody around them. I mean, I'm never anybody to them. Never be anybody to them. This sociopathic female ran this store for about 12 years, and she domestically abuses and mortifies her husband. She thinks that nobody knows, but I know. And you're an aggressive, messed up, fucked up female. But still, a great manager, always happy to chat, a little bit flirtatious, touched me without my consent, once in a way I didn't like, and so on and so on. And quite loyal to her husband. She would tell me things about herself from time to time. Before she left the store, when she quit, she asked me one question. She's like, what are you up to today? And I said, I'm just going to go walk around. And that's all she needed, and that's all she got. Okay? That's all she ever learned about me. I don't want to be anything to you. I don't want to be anyone to most people. I don't want to be an author, writer, philosopher of any kind. I don't want to be a healer, someone who's recovered from rape and domestic abuse. Listen to the evil nature of that laughter. It's a white woman. They all laugh that way around here. You'll never hear an Asian laugh that way. If they do, you'll be like, you're evil. It's amazing. Yeah. I have one thin place that I can walk as I was turning the corner, and they just didn't want to move away from me. Just couldn't move away from me, couldn't go around me. It's fascinating. White woman, eh? I didn't say hi back to her. I don't. Because they have no fucking hands. Right? You've made me stop. Right? By taking such a sharp turn around the corner. You obviously know that I'm here. It's just, they're so thoughtless. They're so bad at touching everything. I don't have say hello to anybody. Right, so you're walking along, and there's an entire road for somewhere to walk, and they keep walking right into you. Right, and it's just thoughtless. Because white women don't think that anyone doesn't want to see them. They never think to themselves that someone, right, the way a white man would be like, I assume most white women are going to see me, right? But for them, right, a totally different mindset to live. No one's scared of a woman. That's why women are given jobs with children all the time, even though they're no predators of children, right? And this is known statistically. Different federal statistics carry it. They just don't want you to find it out because they want you to trust women all the time, right? It's not all women, but it's not even their fault. It's conditioning, lowered inhibitions. Think about the unhealthy occupational hazards of people who deal with children every day. You get used to it, telling them what to do, where to go, talking how to behave, all in the name of love, right? But then you're not their parents. So it's actually a relationship forged in pedophilia. The love that isn't love. The story of the white man's life. False love, theatrical professions and portrayals of love. And you're a loving father while you're all orphaned by your real mother and father. And it basically attends your reason for being everything you are in every group you're part of the rest of your life. None or all of which will ever solve the reason you're part of them. Whatever else you're able to do to any other level in any kind of occupation of an interest. And that's a fact. Give the orphans their original mothers and fathers back. You can almost tell that people work with children or work in education because they don't have any boundaries. They have no boundaries. And the way they even talk about children, the principals, the administrative types, it's like it makes me want to eat my own heart out. You know, it's disgusting. This confidence, this cavalier attitude, you know. It just takes patience, you know. We just keep applying the pressure, and eventually they cave because we know better. Because I've got a white man's penis and my wife has a white woman's vagina. And together they speak to tell children how to behave. From the celestial order of the economic perversion of the human race. Lovely. We're witches and we don't know it. Clap your hands. Controlled by witches. You don't know it. Clap your hands. It's really quite foul. Your life is born as though a bowel. And how much shit you take until you die. Yay! So sometime between now and I get to the estuary, it's going to warm up a tad. Let's keep walking. Oh, God. So I don't use different services. I don't shop in many of the local stores. It just all came to a precipitous end. And there's a list of reasons as to why that is, along with just shopping too often around sociopathic women and in places that employ a contingent of single females who are all sociopaths, working in an industry that is based on religion. Most profit is based on some kind of religion. In fact, the monetary system is a religion, so it's helpful to anyone who wants to be a charlatan. In this area, it's probably some of the highest concentrations of charlatans outside of the Vatican City. Everywhere you go, and most of them are white females, white males too. They're all fucked up, selling all kinds of shit and snake oil to old vulnerable people. It's fucking amazing. They total psychos. They don't know anything about love. Love to them is indeed a four-letter word. Sorry, I just thought I was busy. Maybe I told you. I just yeah, the big case to me. I know this time I didn't. Maybe it may not be an option. Still, right? That I could sue you for, but I for the police. And I'm just saying, you're done. I know the rule. And I everything you do is bad. If you communicate me, you just leave me alone. Right? Or worse, this is you just have to come over and go. And then you're going psychopaths go into portrayal, right? And they can turn off their ears and they can decide when and when not to listen to people. And they're very quick to scapegoat. If the group decides that you're a threat, their ears close, the holes in their head don't work anymore, right? And they're exonerated, given immunity, from, like just like the police, of any kind of suggestion of being hostile on any level, unto the end of your life, right? Do you like white males and females now? Do you see how many men and boys are killed by this? The scapegoating function in various groups, all of which are serving, like the police, probably righteous ideal that all of society depends upon. And if you don't like them, that's your. I talked to an off-duty police officer in RCMP. You could see the glee on his face that he knew that he made it. And he didn't believe that people in armies really killed anybody. It was never. Just amazing. And during the short instant of being with this person and his ugly, 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 ugly wife, like the ugly, one of the ugliest people I've ever met, and just, oh my God, puke in every way. I mean, her face literally looks like her ass, and it came out of the most ugly ass in the world. And you look at their associations, and you look at the behavior of someone who just comes by and chats with them for a minute or two, and the first thing out of their mouth is a lie. And these people are disgusting. The word demon would be too good for them. But it is a hive-like insectoid mind. All these people, right, are in kind of a mental health group called their relative professions in the economic world. You know? I met 2 retired bankers once, right, because they tell me who they are, and they're sociopaths. And they told me that there was no reason to believe that when they saw them that they weren't murderers. And how would I know the difference? For some reason, they just wanted to make this point to me while going on about all kinds of unseemly things, right? And, you know, being able to virtue signal their level of wealth and their status in the local community. It's incredible. You just sit there and it's like, it's entertaining. I get it on video. It's like, this is better than fucking Netflix because they're all the same. They all say the same shit. They all signal the same shit, all by training. It's like, how do you live and never be an original human being ever in your entire life? Right? Humans have no idea what's been done to them. Right? They have no minds of their own anymore. You're all done. You're all crapped out. You have nothing to offer. Right? You're already in receivership. You've already been killed. You're already living in the land of the dead. There's nothing you will ever do about it. You can't even imagine the kind of problem that the rest of the world. And it's not environmental, I assure you. It's pathological. Pathological. Oh. I smoke because I can. I like this. Good toast. Yeah, cool. My sister was trying to get my mom to drive down the Malahat Highway, which my mom never agrees is a dangerous highway. I tell her about the statistics. I tell her about how difficult grade of highway it is. She's a sociopathic automotive operator, driver. She can drive anywhere. It's really scary when your mother wants to go drive 4 hours down a highway with a lot of serious accidents a lot of curving, high-grade roads with trucks and traffic, because it's a major thoroughfare for all kinds of trucking and stuff like that. Like it's nothing in winter conditions. It's like a total lowering of inhibitions about the fundamental dangers of operating a vehicle. It's incredible. You know, I see why people worry about their families. Like, oh, I'm going to go for a drive blindfolded while listening to Led Zeppelin. Yay! I saw a woman in her car one day that had a look on her face like she was going through the tunnel to finding the light. I bet you whoever's listening to this has never had their YouTube channel get a strike, much less be deleted. I've had it a half times. Because of course I say real things. I'm a real person. I don't go on YouTube anymore is to see how useless all the videos are. The comments. I don't think they even have to pay more. The average white male, female child, or adult just absolutely believes that this is basically the best that YouTube could offer. This is real. These are real human beings. I watch a lot of police encounters because I find, even though there's a lot of contrived elements to these things, and there's certain channels you realize quite quickly you don't want to watch, popular as they are, because they're propaganda. One guy worked at a gas station, watched a male and female police officer come up to a man, innocent, standing on the sidewalk, and literally sexually assault him and physically attack him. And both the police officers are taking his statement, and this is on their body cam, and they say, "Tell us what happened. It's okay." And it's like, oh, well, first thing is you came up and attacked him. And the pen in front of him is listed over the paper. And the female officer says, just go ahead and tell him it's okay. You can say whatever you want, and we'll write it down. And the pen isn't moving. And then he starts asking him leading questions. Was he acting suspicious? Things like that. And so basically, they're just procuring a story based upon their own confirmation bias. And this is what they do every day. They control the narrative. I've heard local RCMP talk about the, quote, the homeless problem while they're molesting homeless people. But they don't understand that homeless people have a problem. They're not a problem. Do you want to be treated like you're a problem? And how easy it is for drunk or disgusting white sociopath economic privilege to use the police to attack homeless people or people of lower economic status. It's incredible. It's almost like all they exist for, of regressive taxation that can easily be initiated into its operation by any psycho once they have a light pigmentation, especially if they're female. So that to me, women who look female, for instance, it's just a costume. They're wearing a female costume because, being a female just opens doors our entire life. They're just pretending to be a woman, and or they just honestly don't know how to be one. Aside from, I don't have any friends. I don't talk to anybody. It's useless. Women are all stalkers. They just. Beautiful forest. These trees have all been topped around here. Don't they? You can hear the white children screaming because they scream a lot when they play. Just like that white man I heard walking down the trail, like hundreds of feet away. He was just talking really loud. Okay, so the next clip is we're going to head back to the estuary. I'll take a pee.